All right, Coach Winfrey, let's talk first about this past practice. How do you think this past week went with the practices for the Venom?
I felt like it went pretty well. We had 18 out of 19 players attend, so right at 94%. April's been a pretty good month for us so far. We had 100% participation in our first practice of the month, and then obviously 94% in our second one. So we're very excited about that, and things are definitely looking up for the Venom this year.
Now, this week we added in new player Evan Mannix, who's coming to us out of the Malone area. How do you think Evan's going to fit in well with this Venom team?
I think Evan fits in just fine. And to be quite honest, even if for some reason he didn't fit in, I don't think anybody would say any unkind words to him because he's pretty dominant at the position that he plays for us. Right now we have him at nose tackle, and Coach McDonald and I think that he might be one of the cornerstones of our defense this year, just simply because of the way that he has a high motor. He never gives up, and like I said before, he's a pretty dominant force to be reckoned with on our defensive line.
Taking a look at how we've always seen, it seems like in the last month, a new player almost every single week, and a lot more coming up on the horizon. How do you think that's helping part of the rebuilding process for the Venom this year?
Well, we're peaking at the right time. That's what I like to say. In January, we took a unique approach to our season this year by starting off with classroom sessions for every single player, where they learned about our offense, defense, and special teams. And it wasn't until March that we actually started indoor practices. And now in April, we're finishing up our indoor practices, getting ready for May. When we put the pads on, we go outside and see, what all these guys are really made of, so to speak. And obviously, when you get closer to putting the pads on naturally anyway, you're going to get more football players coming out because that's what they want to do. But I've been happy to see pretty much the same group of guys from January 14th when we started till now. And more players coming on because of that, because they see the commitment and they see the dedication and they see the heart of our team.
Now that the team is fully prepared or getting prepared for this season, getting ready to start outdoor practices, how do you think that seeing the team as it stands right now is going to fare, or possibly a little bit of insight to how do you think they're going to fare in the EFL, one of the premier team or one of the premier leagues in semi-pro football?
Well, you're exactly right. It is one of the premier leagues in all of semi-pro football, and when I say that, of course, I truly do mean it. There's a lot of great programs, and I consider them all programs, but a lot of great programs in the EFL, such as Plattsburgh North Stars, who we happen to play in our first game, Watertown Red and Black, who we hope to have a good, clean rivalry with this season. I think our guys will do well. I really do. And I don't think that I should have this job if I thought anything else. I believe in these guys, and they seem to believe in me, and they seem to respect everything that Coach McDonald and I try to do. And I think that we're building something special here. Now, whether or not that turns into victories right off the bat, we'll have to wait and find out. But I got a pretty good feeling about this year's Seaway Valley Venom.
And now, one of the things that really the North Country hasn't had, at least this far north, obviously the Watertown Red and Black have been around for more than 40 years, Plattsburgh North Stars, but in our area, we haven't really had SemiPro Football. So how do you think introducing SemiPro Football is going to go here in the North Country?
Well, I will say that, I know that we have had a history of semi-pro teams in the area, some successful, some not successful. And I do think that does play into the amount of players that we see come out. And I think it would be ignorant of me not to factor that in when I'm looking at things and try to keep a realistic viewpoint. But I do think if we start to win football games and we start to do things in the community and the community sees that we care about them, I think you're going to see a completely different North Country when it comes to semi-pro football. People are going to be wanting to go out to the games because they know that our players take it seriously and they represent our community well.
And one of the top things about helping out with the rebranding of the Venom brand is right now the home games are currently scheduled for Mike Nichols Field over at the Messina Central School.
Right.
How do you think having that facility will help either fan-wise or team-wise, especially using the community of Messina?
Well, it's a beautiful stadium. It's one of those that you're proud to play at. I made the joke to Joe McDonald, who also helps me out in my coaching staff as my defensive coordinator, and is also the owner of the team. I made the joke to him that we should change our colors to red and blue. That way it looks like we're at home. But hopefully red and blue and black and purple won't look too weird this year, especially if we're winning some football games. But I think it really creates a good atmosphere for our team, especially because our practices will be right there, about probably 50 yards away from the field. So the guys will be used to that facility by the time we come to play our first game on July 9th. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a pretty good time. I'm probably going to have the stadium rocking if we get everybody out there and show their support for the Seaway Valley Venom.
So when is your first game for the Seaway Valley Venom this year?
It's July 9th at 7 o'clock versus the Plattsburgh North Stars, who I mentioned before. We're definitely looking forward to it. I'm excited about it for a plethora of different reasons. I know we got a couple of guys who did play in the Venom last year who now play for them, so it's kind of a little bit of a rivalry for us. We're also having a specialty night that night, and we're doing a whiteout where all the fans wear white. And I think it's going to be really cool for our players, and our players are psyched about it. And we're just looking forward to getting these guys back onto the football field where they belong and letting them live out their dreams.
Now, as we end all of our interviews here with the Venom, is there anything that you wish to say this week to the Seaway Valley Venom fan base?
I pretty much say the same thing every single week, and I'm sure it sounds like a broken record. But I would like to say that if there's any potential players out there that want to come out and be a part of what we're doing, we have a unique program here at the Seaway Valley Venom. We only practice one day a week for about 2 or 3 hours, depending on whether we're outside or indoors. We make it very easy to play football, so that if you have college or you have outside things going on in your life, you're able to still do that and play football. So if you've been looking for a team that's drama-free, that's got a lot of heart and is driven, and also fits within your work and other life schedule, I think this is a team for you. So you should come out, you should play. Like I said, we're getting between 94% and 100% participation in all of our practices. So you're not going to show up and have nobody there, which I know is sort of an issue in other semi-pro teams. So if you're looking for a team that's dedicated, why not join ours? If you're a fan out there, if you're looking for a team to rally behind this year, I hope that it's ours. And I hope that through the things we do in the community, that it will continue to be a team that you want to rally behind for years to come.
All right. Thank you, Coach Winfrey, and can't wait to talk to you next week.
Thank you very much.